Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn English with Jay and Anna. I'm Jay.
And I'm Anna. Hello, everyone.
Let me ask you something. If someone asks you, what do you usually do in a day? Can you answer naturally in English?
Maybe you know the words, but putting them together into a real conversation can be difficult.
Exactly, you might know words like breakfast, work, shower, and dinner.
But knowing the words is different from actually talking about your day.
So today, we're going to practice that.
We're going to talk about a real daily routine from morning to night.
I'll tell Anna about my day, and we'll use my routine to learn natural English expressions.
You'll hear the conversation first,
Then we'll stop and look at some useful phrases.
and we'll give you chances to practice them too.
By the end, you'll be able to use the same expressions to talk about your own day.
Sounds good to me.
Let's get started.
Okay, Jay, let's start from the beginning.
All right.
What time do you usually wake up?
Usually around 6:30.
Around 6:30.
Yeah,
Are you one of those people who jumps out of bed immediately?
absolutely not.
I knew it.
I need a few minutes to wake up.
Same here.
Especially when it's cold outside.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, I'll tell you about my day.
Go ahead.
I usually wake up at 6:30 in the morning. I'm not always ready to get out of bed, especially when it's cold outside. I usually stay in bed for a few minutes and try to wake up properly. Then I turn off my alarm and get up. The first thing I do is open the curtains. I like to let some sunlight into the room. Then I go to the bathroom. I brush my teeth, wash my face, and take a quick shower. After that, I get dressed. I usually choose something comfortable because I don't like wearing uncomfortable clothes all day. When I'm ready, I go to the kitchen and make a cup of coffee. Coffee is a very important part of my morning.
I knew that.
What?
Nothing, keep going.
Okay, sounds good. While I'm drinking my coffee, I usually check my phone. I look at my messages and check my schedule for the day. Sometimes I check the news, but I try not to spend too much time on my phone. Then I make breakfast. Usually I have eggs and toast. Sometimes I have oatmeal and fruit. I don't like to have a very heavy breakfast in the morning. After breakfast, I clean the kitchen and get ready to leave. I usually leave home around 8 o'clock. I walk to the subway station and take the subway to work. The ride takes about 30 minutes. Sometimes I listen to music on the way. Other times I listen to an English podcast. I usually arrive at work around 8:40. I get a coffee and go to my desk. And that's basically my morning.
Okay, that's actually a pretty organized morning.
You sound surprised.
I am a little surprised.
Why?
Because you said you don't jump out of bed, but then you do about 20 things before 8.
That's true.
I like the sunlight part.
Yeah, it helps me wake up.
And of course, the coffee.
Of course.
All right, let's look at some of the English you used. You said, I usually wake up at 6:30.
That's right.
And then you said, I get up.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Wake up means you stop sleeping.
And get up means you actually leave your bed.
That's exactly right.
So you can wake up at 6:30.
But get up at 6:40.
That's right.
Sometimes I wake up and just lie there for a few minutes.
I do that too.
Especially on a cold morning.
Definitely.
So let's give our viewers two examples.
Okay, sounds good.
I wake up at 7.
I get up at 7:15.
Now it's your turn.
Say I wake up at, and choose your own time.
Take a moment and say it out loud.
Good.
Now say I get up at.
Take your time.
Great.
You also use the expression, around 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's useful because you're not giving an exact time.
Right, I don't leave at exactly 8 o'clock every day.
So you can say, I leave home around 8.
That's exactly right.
But if you know the exact time, you can say, I leave home at 8.
That's right.
So remember, we use at for a specific time.
At 7 o'clock.
At 8:30.
At noon.
And we use around or about when the time is approximate.
Around 8.
About 8.
Both sound natural.
Let's practice one.
Say I wake up at 7.
Now say, I leave home around 8.
Take a moment.
Nice. You also used several really useful morning expressions.
Like brush my teeth.
That's exactly right.
Wash my face.
Take a shower.
Get dressed.
These are simple, but they're very common.
And they're easy to connect.
For example,
First I brush my teeth. Then I wash my face. After that I take a shower. Then I get dressed.
perfect, thanks.
You can use these expressions every day.
And you don't need complicated English.
That's exactly right.
Now think about your own morning.
What do you do first?
What do you do next?
Try making 3 sentences.
Start with first I.
Then I.
And after that I.
Take a moment.
A great job. I noticed you used the word, usually several times.
Yeah, I guess I usually do that.
Very funny.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Usually is really useful when you're talking about routines.
Because routines are things you do regularly.
That's right.
You can also say sometimes.
Often.
Always.
And never.
For example, I usually drink coffee in the morning.
I sometimes drink tea.
I often go for a walk.
I never skip breakfast.
Do you really never skip breakfast?
Okay, sometimes I skip it.
There we go.
Especially when I'm in a hurry.
That's actually a good example.
Thanks.
Now it's your turn.
Complete this sentence, I usually.
Think about something you do every day.
Take a moment.
Good. Now let's talk about your commute.
Sure, absolutely.
You said, I take the subway to work.
That's right.
We use take with public transportation.
Take the subway.
Take the bus.
Take the train.
Take a taxi.
That's exactly right.
But if you use your own car,
I drive to work.
that's right.
And sometimes I walk to work if the weather is nice.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
You also said, the ride takes about 30 minutes.
Yes.
We use takes to talk about how much time something needs.
For example, the subway ride takes 30 minutes.
Or, it takes 20 minutes to get to work.
That's exactly right.
How long does your commute take, Jay?
Usually about 30 minutes.
Only 30.
If everything goes well.
Ah, there it is.
That's exactly right.
Now you try.
Say my commute takes about.
Give your own time.
Take a moment.
Perfect, thanks. Okay, so you arrive at work around 8:40.
That's right.
What happens next?
The first thing I do is check my emails.
The first thing I do is, that's another useful expression.
You can use it for lots of situations.
The first thing I do is drink coffee.
The first thing I do is check my phone.
The first thing I do is take a shower.
That's exactly right.
What else do you do at work?
I check my schedule and make a list of my tasks.
Tasks.
Yeah, things I need to finish.
So answering emails can be a task.
Yes.
Writing a report can be a task.
That's exactly right.
And preparing for a meeting can be a task.
That's right.
Then you said, I take a break.
I definitely take breaks.
How many?
That's classified information.
It's okay, I'll let it go.
Thank you.
Take a break simply means stop working for a short time.
For example, I work for 2 hours and then I take a break.
That's exactly right.
And if you're enjoying our conversation, don't forget to like the video.
And subscribe to Learn English with Jay and Anna.
We make simple English conversations to help you understand and speak more naturally.
And we'd love to know about your routine too.
Write one sentence about your day in the comments.
For example, I wake up at 7 and take the subway to work.
That's it, keep it simple.
Okay, let's move on to the evening.
All right.
What do you usually do after work?
When I get home, I usually change my clothes and relax for a while.
I like that phrase, for a while.
Yeah,
It means for some time, but we don't say exactly how long.
that's right.
For example, I watch TV for a while.
I read for a while.
I relax for a while.
That's exactly right.
What else do you do?
Sometimes I go for a walk.
Do you enjoy walking?
Yeah, especially after sitting at a desk all day.
I agree.
It helps me clear my head.
That's a nice expression too, clear my head.
It means relax and stop thinking about work or problems.
That's exactly right.
Sometimes I also exercise at home.
Sometimes.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say every day.
No chance.
Fair enough. What time do you usually have dinner?
Around 7:30.
And do you cook?
Usually yes.
What's your favorite thing to make?
Probably pasta.
Simple.
Very simple.
After dinner.
I usually clean the kitchen.
Very responsible.
I'm trying.
Then what?
Then I take a shower and relax.
Do you watch TV?
Sometimes.
Read.
Sometimes.
Phone.
Unfortunately, sometimes.
Same.
I try not to spend too much time on my phone at night.
That's a good habit.
I'm working on it.
And when do you go to bed?
Usually around 10:30 or 11 o'clock.
And do you fall asleep immediately?
No.
Me neither.
I usually think about what I need to do the next day.
That's very normal.
Then I turn off the light and go to sleep.
You used another useful expression. Get home.
That's right.
Get home means arrive at your home.
I get home at 6.
I get home after work.
That's exactly right.
And then you said, I set my alarm.
Yes.
We say, set my alarm.
Not make my alarms.
That's right.
That's an easy mistake to make.
And finally, go to bed and go to sleep.
They're slightly different.
You can go to bed at 10:30.
But maybe you don't go to sleep until 11 o'clock.
That's exactly right. Let's pause for a second.
Okay, sounds good.
I want everyone listening to think about their own day.
Good idea.
What time do you usually wake up?
Do you get up immediately, or do you stay in bed for a few minutes?
What do you do first?
Do you have breakfast?
How do you get to work or school?
And what do you usually do after work or school?
You don't have to answer all of these right now.
Just choose one question and answer it in English.
For example, I usually wake up at 7.
Or I take the bus to work.
Simple sentences are perfect. You know what? I think our listeners should hear your whole routine one more time.
I agree.
The first time, they were just listening for the main idea.
Now they've learned the expressions.
So this time, listen for the phrases we talked about.
And I'll add a few small details.
Don't worry if some sentences sound slightly different.
Focus on the meaning and see how much more you understand.
Ready.
Here we go. Every day, I wake up at 6:30 in the morning. I usually feel a little tired, especially if I didn't sleep well the night before. I normally stay in bed for a few minutes before I get up. Then I turn off my alarm, open the curtains, and let some sunlight into the room. After that, I go to the bathroom. I brush my teeth, wash my face, and take a quick shower. Then I get dressed and choose something comfortable to wear. When I'm ready, I go to the kitchen and make a cup of coffee. While I drink my coffee, I usually check my phone. I look at my messages, check my schedule, and see if I have any important meetings. Then I make breakfast. Usually I have eggs and toast, but sometimes I make oatmeal with fruit. After breakfast, I clean the kitchen and get ready to leave. I usually leave home around 8 o'clock. I walk to the subway station and take the subway to work. The ride takes about 30 minutes. Sometimes I listen to music, and other times I listen to an English podcast. I usually arrive at work around 8:40. The first thing I do is get a coffee and check my emails. Then I look at my schedule and make a list of my tasks. I usually have a meeting with my team in the morning. After the meeting, I work on my projects and answer emails. At around noon, I take a break and have lunch. Sometimes I bring lunch from home. Other times, I eat at a restaurant near my office. After lunch, I go back to work. I usually finish work around 5:30. Before I leave, I check my schedule for the next day. Then I pack my bag and head home. When I get home, I change my clothes and relax for a while. Sometimes I go for a walk. Sometimes I exercise at home. Around 7:30, I make dinner. After dinner, I clean the kitchen. Then I take a shower and relax. Sometimes I watch a little TV, and sometimes I read a book. Before I go to bed, I prepare my clothes for the next day. I also set my alarm. I try not to spend too much time on my phone at night. I usually go to bed around 10:30 or 11 o'clock. Before I fall asleep, I think about what I need to do the next day. Then I turn off the light and go to sleep. And that's my typical day.
See, it sounds much easier the second time.
Yeah, because now you know what to listen for.
That's exactly right.
The first time you were following the story.
And the second time, you were listening for the English.
That's why repetition is so useful.
You hear it.
You understand it.
And then you use it.
Okay, Anna, I've talked enough about my day.
Finally.
Very funny.
Now you can ask me about my routine.
All right, what time do you usually wake up?
I usually wake up around 7.
And do you get up immediately?
Honestly, not always.
I knew it.
I need a few minutes too.
What do you do first?
The first thing I do is drink some water.
No coffee.
Coffee comes after that.
Okay, that's acceptable.
Then I take a shower, get dressed, and make breakfast.
How do you get to work?
I usually drive.
How long does it take?
About 25 minutes.
And after work?
I usually go home, have dinner, and relax.
Do you exercise?
Sometimes I go for a walk in the evening.
Sounds nice.
Everyone's routine is a little different.
That's exactly right.
And that's actually the important thing.
What do you mean?
You don't need to memorize someone else's routine.
That's right.
You need to learn the expressions so you can describe your own life.
That's a really good point.
So, what did we learn today?
We learned how to talk about our daily routines.
We practiced wake up and get up.
We learned how to use at, around, and about with time.
We practiced everyday phrases like brush my teeth, take a shower, get dressed, and make breakfast.
We talked about transportation with phrases like take the subway, take the bus, and drive to work.
We learned take a break, get home, go for a walk, set my alarm, and go to bed.
And we practiced frequency words like usually, sometimes, often, and never.
But most importantly, you heard these expressions in a real conversation.
And now you can use them to talk about your own day.
Okay, now it's your turn.
Yes, this is the important part.
Forget about my routine for a moment.
Think about your own day.
What time do you usually wake up?
What do you do first?
How do you get to work or school?
What do you usually do in the afternoon?
And what do you do at night?
Now put it all together.
Start with I usually wake up at.
Then, after that,
Next, I usually.
And finally, at night I usually.
Take your time.
You don't need perfect English.
You just need to speak.
If you make a mistake, that's okay.
Try again.
Speak slowly.
Speak clearly.
And keep practicing.
You just talked about your day in English.
And if you enjoyed today's lesson, please like the video.
And subscribe to Learn English with Jay and Anna for more natural English conversations.
Also, tell us about your routine in the comments.
What time do you usually wake up?
How do you get to work or school?
And what's your favorite part of your day?
Write a few sentences.
Keep them simple.
Even 5 minutes of English practice every day can make a difference.
That's right.
Keep listening.
Keep practicing.
And most importantly,
Keep speaking English.
we'll see you in the next lesson.
Bye, everyone.
See you soon.